Hello, hello, and good evening to you. I want to welcome you to this pop up mental wellness virtual summit this evening. Listen, tag a friend, share the live, begin to like and love. Know that we are in for a complete treat on tonight. I have with me the one and only Dr. George Fraser tonight. My goodness, we are discussing the topic of mental wellness. And there are so many different types of wellness. If we think about, of course, financial wellness comes to mind. We can think about relationship currency. Time is wellness, health is wellness, and absolutely mental health, mental wellness is wealth. Actually, I believe I said it's wellness, but what I'm really saying is that when we think about wealth, there are multiple types of wealth, and mental wellness is a significant type of wealth. So, as you are coming in, let me know where you are joining from. Let me know that you are on, and let's get started. I want to get started by introducing my guest tonight. And I am going to do that by playing a brief video, and then I will bring him to the stage. And I now want to bring to the stage to you the one, the only Dr. George Fraser. Good evening, sir, to you. How are you this evening?
I'm doing wonderful, Dr. Carla. Can you hear me loud and clear?
I hear you loud and clear. And I am just very excited that you have taken the time to come to speak to us, to speak into our lives, to really give us just some insight into your wisdom and your lived experience. I had posted, when I posted the flyer, I posted the fact that you are an international treasure. And whenever and wherever you are speaking, that anyone that has heard about it needs to pay attention.
Thank you.
So thank you so much this evening for being here.
It's my honor. Really, it is to speak to your audience, to speak to you, and um, and to be heard. You earn that. You're not given that. You earn it over time. And so to sit before you and just to engage, um, uh, you when you teach, you actually learn,
Mm,
right? Because the key to learning is simplicity and repetition. You've got to hear it or say it 50 different ways on 50 different days. You don't learn it the first time you hear it. You got to hear it over and over. So every time I get an opportunity to speak before an august audience like yours, as I am teaching, I'm reinforcing and adding new dimensions and insights just from the engagement of the words I speak. So I get as much enjoyment and,
mm.
education, teaching, as I get if I'm reading. So thank you for the opportunity.
I love when you talk about that because they say that in order to learn something, that we really have to hear it 7 different times, 7 different ways.
That's right. That's right.
And yeah, so it's totally reinforcing the information, as you say. And I think the other thing is, yes, the learning as we are hearing it in our own hearing, even if it's coming out of our own mouth, we're learning something new. And of course, by sitting under giants like yourself,
Thank you.
yeah, we get to learn.
You make an interesting point. So here's a factoid
Mm,
that we talk more to ourselves than all of the people that we engage in conversation with throughout our entire life. Right? So
yes.
you're not talking 8 hours a day, right? I don't know how many hours you spend a day on the phone or in conversations and meetings. So let's say it's 7 hours of just constantly zooming and phone calls. That would be pretty intense. Well, that means that for 16 hours, you're actually having a conversation with yourself. And that's called programming. What
Yeah.
you are, in fact, doing is programming yourself by the conversation that you're having with yourself in the quiet and privacy of your own mind. And sometimes we have crazy thoughts. Sometimes sometimes I'm sitting in a chair, I'm thinking to myself, and then I bust out into laughter. Right, right. I'm not crazy, and then even sometimes I'm in my office now, in my office building, and I'm thinking to myself, and there's nobody around, and I may say to myself something like, "No, no," and every now and then that ekes out like when I'm at home with my bride of 50 years, and she'll look at me. She says, "Well, who are you talking to?"
Right.
I said, "Oh, you heard that? I'm actually having a conversation with myself. I'm thinking about something and I'm rejecting the idea." So it is just one of those interesting things that conversations with ourselves, right? Tonight I'd like to um, start with a very very short little thing that I want to say. It's very, very short. And anybody that follows me on my 5 social platforms know that I post every single day, but typically no more than 10 words, right?
Okay. Yes.
Um, I read a wonderful book called Hook Point: How to Grab Attention in a 3-second world, right? With all the stuff that's coming at us. Uh, you don't have much time to get people's attention. You got to engage them and hook them quickly and then let them go. And then they're on to the next thing when you think about the stuff that we go through on social media. So, um, So this is what I want to say. Die with memories,
Hmm.
not dreams. So my goal tonight is to help you turn some of those dreams into memories. Now you understand the quantum difference between a memory and a dream, right?
Yes.
In fact, the goal of life is to dream, then do the damn thing, and then have a memory,
Yes.
right? And then if you think about dreaming, and I dream every night, but I don't remember 99% of it, right? It's extraordinarily difficult to remember your dreams. So turn your dreams, whatever part you remember, whatever you dream you want to do, into a memory. In other words, do the damn thing.
Mm. I love that wisdom already from the door. Let's make memories. Let's turn the dreams
Yeah,
into
die
memories.
with memories, not
Die. Yes.
dreams.
Yes. Beauty says powerful. There may be some people on Facebook that think they can hear. They may be having difficulty getting on, but if they're listening to me, listen, just hang in there, listen, and know that I'll share again after, and we'll also have a replay on this. But we are so glad that you are here, Malt and Angela, and beautiful Marie, and all the other ones that are listening in. Um, and as you talk about, really, I think about, not taking our dreams, as you're saying, to the grave with us, that there are people that need our touch. They need exactly what it is that we have in our hand and we have in our heart, the thing that we're put on earth to do, the purpose that's on the inside of us.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think about, as we talk about this mental wealth, that there's so many different kinds of wealth that we can have. We can have the financial wealth, that relationship wealth, time is wealth, health is wealth. And having this mental fortitude, the mental adaptability, the toughness, all of that is wealth. And I think about, mental wealth really being like making it a priority to invest in our psychological well being,
Mhm.
and really to be able to do that consistently, and to do it ongoing throughout every stage of life. And when I think about that investment, it really is being intentional, being purposeful about putting ourselves in those positions, like to develop that emotional resilience to be able to really navigate life. And I think about mental wealth also as having like the mental um, and the emotional like fortitude, really to be able to master all of the different circumstances of life and to be able to do that and excel. And sometimes as entrepreneurs, as business people, we're so busy about the business of doing business that we forget about the business of our own lives. And so my thought as you are here, if you can talk a little bit from your perspective about mental wealth. What does that look like for you? What should that look like for us that are listening in?
That's a wonderful question, and you contextualized it beautifully. But I'm not surprised. You're
Mhm.
all that and a bag of chips. God bless you. For me, there are two cornerstones for mental wealth: stability,
Mm,
knowledge, reading, reading,
mm,
reading books of and about great people, reading novels of about and about great stories, escaping from your own reality into a different reality, which is essentially what reading or watching a great movie is about, right? and becoming a 360-degree human being. In other words, know a little bit about a lot.
Mm,
Now, now, it doesn't negate the necessity for you to know a lot about a little too. In other words, to become a subject matter expert, right?
mhm,
To be comfortable in that. And that requires a commitment to personal growth and development, constant, never ending improvement, and lifelong learning. I'm 77. In my offices. This is not a green screen. And
mhm,
behind me is my library office. There are 2,500 books in my library office and 15,000 in my home. So my wife of 50 years told me, Dr. Fraser, if you bring any more books home, we probably won't have any place to sleep.
right.
So for me, reading is a form of relaxation. It's a form of self-education. It's a way for me to get out of my narrow little world and explore the world, explore lives. To I'm really interested in biographies. I have a
Mm,
huge library of biographies of every kind of famous person you could imagine, from Du Bois to Frederick Douglass to Stephen Jobs. I mean, I'm just interested in how people navigated their life and
mhm,
how they overcame obstacles, right?
right.
And and we will all have obstacles. There are two things we will all have. We will all have a unique purpose. God has put each of us here with a unique purpose in mind. There's a job that He's assigned only you to do, Doc. And if you do not do it, it will not get done in the universe. It is your assignment. That's by God. And so it is incumbent upon you to discover that. We're dependent upon you to
Mm,
discover that. All right. This is how you're going to get your greatest fulfillment, your greatest joy, and your greatest satisfaction. In fact, I believe that one of the keys to life is doing what you love with people that you love. Right. Now, I've never met a person who hated what they were doing and was good at it.
right.
Right? Very, very, very few people. You get good, you get excellence, you become exceptional when you're actually doing something that you have fallen in love with.
Mhm,
I work every single day, no less than 12 hours a day. That's 7 days a week. Now, people say, That's insane." No, it isn't. Because, see, you look at it as work. I
right.
look at it as enjoyment. There's nothing on earth other than being with my family, my children, and my grandchildren that I would rather be doing than being immersed in my work, because I love it. And I love it because I know this is the reason God put me here, right?
Yes.
This is the work. So even at 77, I'm doing some of the best work of my life. And that's because I've always been a student. I'm a lifetime student. And so knowledge and the aggressive pursuit of knowledge for me is very relaxing to me. And it makes me, it's part of my mental wealth. This is what I have to
Yes.
share, right? I'm sharing this with you. This is my wealth. And then people are my wealth. Right? There is no success that you can attain, sustain, or maintain on your own by yourself in a vacuum. And so understanding the power of the human connection is absolutely critical, right?
Yes.
So human beings and providing service to human beings, adding value to their life is a form of wealth. It makes me feel good about me. It increases my self esteem. It increases my pluck. It increases my own personal. It's a way to inspire George Fraser is to serve. Now, why is that so important? Because I think it's congruent with the purpose of life. And the purpose of life, Doc, is not complicated because God doesn't make anything complicated because he needs for everybody to understand it. We make things complicated,
Yes,
right?
indeed.
Right, Doc? We make things complicated for a couple of reasons. The more complicated we can make the thing, the more reasons we have for not doing it. Right? So it's a great excuse uh, generator. We make things complicated to control power. Right? So the more
Yes.
complicated I make something, the more power I have over you. So I'm going to now uncomplicate for everybody listening what the purpose of life is.
Mm.
Right? So now, if you don't want to hear this, because you're never going to be able to unhear it, and you're never going to be able to tell anybody that you don't know what the purpose of life is. The purpose of life is to love, to give, to serve,
Mm.
and to add the highest value to somebody or something every minute of every day. That's the purpose of life. Now, your particular purpose that is unique to you is, in fact, your journey, right?
Yes.
Your journey requires exploration, it requires failure, it requires
Mm.
stumbling and falling, and out of that comes the extraction of the lesson. Let me say that a different way. My favorite quote outside of the Bible is a quote by Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was one of the five great Caesars. Now, there were 40 Caesars, but he was one of the five great ones, and he was one of the founders of the Stoic philosophy. And it was Marcus Aurelius who said in about 100 BC, this is before Christ, the impediment to action advances the action. What
Mm.
stands in your way becomes the way. And I
I
said,
love that.
now let me say that a different way
Woo!
for everybody in the cheap seats, and that is the obstacle is the way. Where there is no obstacle, there is no way. So, what is the first thing God does when He gives you an assignment that He feels that you are prepared for? He puts an obstacle in your way. And your job is to find a way over, around, through, and under the obstacles to stumble, fall, fail, and to extract the lessons from your failures, right?
Yes.
And then apply those lessons to the next assignment, which will be at a slightly higher level when God feels that you're ready for it. And then what's the next thing God does? He puts an obstacle in your way.
I
And
love
that,
it.
if you look back over your damn life, that's the story of all of our lives because this is how we learn. This is how God has designed the system, right? That's
Yes.
absolutely critical to understand that. So, A, we must deal with other human beings. That's called the power of the human connection, right? We are people, especially African centered people, especially people who understand African centered thinking versus Eurocentric thinking. We are focused on community and interdependence, not independence, but interdependence, linked in a common bond of caring and sharing. That is how we get over, right? If we
Yes.
as a community, as a collective. And this is congruent with understanding God's, helping us to understand that it is the human connection. It is you working with and through other people that will be the fulfillment of your purpose and will be one of the greatest fulfillments of your life. And God gave us two things to ensure that his children connected. Very powerful things, quite genius things.
Hmm.
He gave us sex and money. Now let me
Wow.
unpack that for you.
You have to break that
Let
down.
me
Yeah,
unpack that
one
for
step further. I get the sex part.
you. Let me well, now,
Well, talk about the money part.
yeah, listen up, brothers and sisters. Sex. So first, we have to be motivated to have sex, and we're
Mhm.
motivated to have sex because we get one thing from it, and that is ecstasy. There's no feeling on earth. Okay, it is totally unique. There's nothing else you can experience that is equal to the ecstasy of sex. But that is not the goal of sex.
Right,
The
right,
goal of sex is procreation, so
right.
that you can produce more
Mm,
of God's children to serve you and for you to serve. That's the purpose of sex. Procreation to multiply
be fruitful and multiply.
and be fruitful.
Yes.
So that's genius. Now, money. You say, well, that's a little strange, Dr. Fraser. What does money have to do with it? Well, it's very simple. How do you earn money? Through service.
Hmm.
Through service, through the service of a service or a product. That's how you earn money. So, how can you offer a service, advice, or counsel or product unless you educate yourself, unless you improve your skills, unless you are committed to constant, never ending improvement, lifelong learning, and personal growth and development? So, as you hone your skills, you are preparing yourself to serve more people. And the more people you serve, the more certificates of appreciation you
Mm,
receive.
wow.
Now, that's a nice way of saying money.
Right,
How
right.
do you earn money? You must give service. That's how you earn money. That is the motivation for you to earn money, is to provide a service. And the more people you provide a service to, with whatever skills that you have developed, right, and mastered, the more money you earn. So let's take a simple example. Beyonce, she has this beautiful voice. She started as a child singing and dancing. Her parents helped her, right? And now she walks into a stadium of 50,000 people when she does her tour. She gets $100 from each of the 50,000 people, and she earns a lot of money. But she has a skill, a developed skill, right?
Yes.
Pleases and serves a lot of people. So the more people you serve, right, the more money you earn. That's how it works. So loving, giving, serving. So having and adding value. So if you have nothing, it's because you've given nothing. That you cannot take out of life that which you have not put into life. Just as you cannot take out of the bank that which you have not put into the bank.
Yes.
So when you understand some simple concepts, it gives us, and I love your term, mental wealth, right? Mental wealth. It gives us more currency, right? A,
Yes.
the power of the human connection. I've been writing about that for 40 years with a classic. I started with a classic book 34 years ago called Success Runs in Our Race, The Complete.
You know what? I have it. I should have it
Yeah,
in front of
right.
me. I love
I
it.
wrote that
Yes.
34 years ago, right?
Yes.
The
And
first book on the power of the human connection, and the
yes.
first book that talked about it. Is a modern day classic. It's required reading in 57 historically black colleges. It is the book that started the networking conversation and ultimately started the networking movement. This was 35 years ago, right? The
Hmm.
book sold over 1 million copies. So, in other words, God gave me the inspiration and the gifts and the downloads to hone my skills enough that I'm able to write a book, right? Right? That serves millions of people.
Yeah.
Well, because I've done that, I get paid from millions of people. You understand what
Yeah,
right? Right?
absolutely.
They go to the store and they buy it. They buy it for $30, and I get 10. Okay,
Mm,
and the publishing company keeps the rest. But do the math.
right.
Okay? So it's a product that happened to appeal to a lot of people because it was timely, it was needed, it was not discussed. So part of your job, right, is thinking outside of the box. What do people want? How do you add real value, right? And then create something, a service. You could be a coach, a doctor, a physician, well, however you want to serve, a plumber, an
Mhm.
electrician, right? And
Yes.
these are skills that are in huge demand, right? And we could spend all night talking about opportunities, and then you provide that service, and therefore you earn money, and that is the power of the human connection. It was Malcolm Gladwell, the great author. I have every
Mhm.
all of his books in my library back there, who said the thing that he noticed about rich people, they have lots of friends,
Mm,
right? Colleagues, family, and that they have accumulated, and customers, and they have accumulated their wealth through the effective provision of a service to lots of people.
right.
Right? Um, Also, the other concept, if you want to live a mentally healthy life, is understanding the concept of the power of proximity.
Mm,
Right. So, what does that mean, Dr. Fraser? It means surround yourself with people who make you better. Who makes you better? Who are those people? You're in charge. You select those people. Are they making you better?
yes.
That is the power of proximity. Are you in the right places? That you have to make decisions all the time on where to go and where not to go. There are unlimited opportunities to go places. You can go to the bar, right?
That's
Or
right.
you go to a webinar, or a Zoom call that appeals to you, or you can join your sorority or your fraternity. You're making decisions every day on where to be, and are is where you be with people who are making you better.
Yes.
And that's the evaluation that you have to make, because that you have to figure out what is the highest and best use of my time. Right? I tell
Absolutely.
people all the time, Doc, do anything but don't waste my time. I will get more money, but I will not get any more time. Right? And I don't know how much time I have, and I'm not going to allow you to waste it. So manage your time, be around people. This is again the concept, the power of proximity. Be around people who make you better. They keep you mentally sharp.
Mm,
They're interesting and interested. Right? There's a wonderful Academy Award movie I saw on a streaming service. Wonderful story. And it was a story. It was a, let me turn this phone on. It was a
mhm.
story about two really good friends who grew up together in Northern Ireland. And they were friends for 40 years. And one of the friends came to him one day and says, I don't want you to ever talk to me again. He just said it out of the blue. I don't want you to ever talk to me again, Sean.
Wow.
So Sean said, what? And then he spent a couple of days just trying to get his friend to tell him why he never wanted his best friend to ever speak to him again. And finally, he revealed it to him. He said, Sean, because you're boring.
Wow. Okay.
You're boring. I'm a violinist. I'm into my music. I'm trying to compose music. I'm trying to play the violin. You're into nothing,
Wow.
right? Now, it was different when we were kids, right? But
Yes.
we're grown now. We're 50, 60 years old, and you're still talking about the same shit. You're not doing anything. You have no interest. You're boring.
Mm.
So I have to bless you and release you. I'm using that term.
I love that what you say. Bless them and release them.
Right.
Yes.
So
Uh-huh.
please, I know we live in a small village on the side of a hill in
Mm.
Ireland, right? I know it's a small town, but please do everything you can to avoid me and don't talk to me. And I'm not going to tell anymore. It's called the Banshees of Inisherin. The Banshees of Inisherin. Both actors were nominated for Academy Awards,
Wow.
and the picture was nominated for Best Picture.
Mhm.
And if you like dialogue movies, it's rich in dialogue, and you like understanding stories. So, yes, boring people, even your friends, right, or family, are not good for you, right? Right. This is why we need to be a 360-degree person. Read, travel, practice writing, right? And thinking. And this makes you interesting. Now, I know I have, and the reason I resonated with the movie so well because I that has actually happened in my own life.
Right. Uh-huh.
I've had long time friends who just ended up being totally boring. Not I said, I asked them, you travel? Oh, no, no, man, I don't like traveling, man. They live in a 25-mile radius for 60 years.
Right. Uh-huh.
Boring. Right? Do you know how much there is to learn and to know and to understand and to see in life? If nothing, it makes you more interesting. It gives you something else to discuss and to have in common with other people. And to so so this is all part of how I stay mentally healthy, right? Is because I'm open to everything, attached to nothing. The best ideas win.
Mm. Wow.
Right? The best ideas win. So I'm
Yes.
constantly looking for ideas. I'm listening to people talk, and I question with good questions. You get good answers, right? So um, so to our brothers and sisters, I want to say this to them. Um, I'll say it in three little tiny chunks. Brothers and sisters, old keys will not open new doors.
Mm.
That's A. B. A house divided amongst itself will not stand.
Mm.
That's biblical.
Yes.
Number three, ain't nobody saving black people but black people. It's been 400 years and our asses ain't saved. Who in the hell are we waiting for? We're waiting for us. And I have found the enemy, and the enemy is us.
Mm.
No one's saving us. So we have to man up and woman up, and we have, if we want freedom, ultimately, if we want to stay healthy and not go crazy, right, we need each other. One final thing on this. Um, you'll be surprised when you're engaging people, the seeds that they plant in us.
Mm.
They're sort of involuntary. But once you hear it, if it deeply resonates, you can't ever get rid of it. It festers, right, and grows. 1962. I'm 17 years old. I'm born and raised in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, New York. But I'm running the streets of New York. I'm 17, 1 year before I graduated from high school, and I was in Harlem, right at 125th Street, right down from the Apollo, and there was a young man on the corner talking. And he had a little crowd, so I was interested. And I went over and I stood in front of him. The young man's name was Stokely Carmichael,
Wow.
who later returned his name to Kwame Ture,
That's all
married
right.
the great South African song stylist Miriam Makeba.
Yeah.
And he said something so powerful. I didn't realize how powerful it was, although it piqued my interest when he said it.
Hmm.
But what he ended up saying ended up being the North Star of my entire life.
Wow.
So I'm going to quote to you exactly what he said, right? I didn't understand how potent this was. He said, "No black person in this country makes any advancement solely based on his or her talent or worth. All individual advancement is based on mass struggle. We make
Mm.
no progress in this world without shedding our blood. Therefore, brothers and sisters, your advancement and success does not belong to you, it belongs to the people. Thus, if you do not use your success or advancement for the benefit of your people, it is a betrayal of the people who shed their blood for you."
Mm.
That sunk in. So, what I do for my people. My people, black people, are my heroes, and therefore, black people are my career. I serve my heroes. Now, that may sound a little corny, but if you Google me, you'll see that it's profoundly true, right? So, who are you in service of?
Mm.
The only way you're going to be mentally fit, you're going to love yourself. You're going to get your greatest fulfillment, greatest joy, and greatest satisfaction from that, right? Who and what and how and what value do you add to people's lives? That's what we have to be focused on. And Toni Morrison said it beautifully. She said it a little bit differently. Toni Morrison said, if you are free, you need to free somebody else.
Somebody else. Ooh,
And
yeah.
if you have power, your job then is to empower somebody else, right? And then the great Afrocentric scholar, Dr. John Henrik Clarke,
Mm, yes.
said it beautifully, very simply. Dr. John Henrik Clarke was from Harlem. He was Malcolm X's mentor.
Uh-huh.
And John Henrik Clarke said, take what you do best and do it for your people,
Mm.
right? I think that's a path to mental wealth,
Mm. Wow. That's good.
right? That's, do what you love with people that you love,
Mm.
right? And that's a long ass answer to the question you asked, right?
Woo. It was
But
a good answer, a
right,
comprehensive answer, a needed answer, one that we listening in are going to go back and study and repetitively listen to. So good. So good. You know, you talked about the fact that you have served, and I have studied you and I have followed you,
hmm
and you have lived a life of service. And I've listened to some of the things you've talked about. You've lived a life of service in front of people, but you've lived a life of service behind the scenes.
that's right.
And there's so much to learn from you. There's so much that you spoke of, so much wisdom. I just wanted to sit here and exercise the skill of listening, um, as you have shared so much of your heart with
Yeah,
us. You have freed us. You are freeing the people. You are such a pillar and staple in the African American community. And I am just so thankful and honored that you have been here this evening. Just before you go, because one of the things that is up and coming is the Power Networking
Yeah,
Conference. And if anybody thought that within the minutes we had together that you gave so much, imagine being with you over 4 or 5 days.
right. So that was hors d'oeuvre. You come to the Power Networking Conference. That's a full damn meal. I promise you. Right, over several days. So this is the little flyer that we have for the Power Networking Conference coming up August the 2nd through the 5th in Houston, Texas. Okay, so the the theme of the conference this year is icons of excellence. Icons, you would be an icon of excellence, Doc. Repositioning our narrative in
Hmm.
real time, right? We got to right. We got to have a different narrative, and so it's sold out. It sells out every year. This is our 22nd year, right? We know kids in the no new kids in the block. Forbes magazine named it one of the top 5 conferences in America, not to be missed. Right, not one of the top 5 black conferences, but one of the top 5 of all conferences in America. It is a place where you are around top black professionals, business owners, and community leaders. It is, again, the epitome of the power of proximity, right? Being around people for 3 or 4 days that make you smarter and that make you better, that will coach you and mentor you. They don't come and speak and leave. All of our speakers stay and engage. That is a required part of what we do. Um, and so, what I'd like to do, if you permit me, is to make your august audience a very special offer. This is an offer that comes from the founder of the conference. You can go to our website, by the way, and you can see everything uh, and everybody that's going to be there at www.powernetworkingconference.com. That's www.powernetworkingconference.com. And we do have an offer on the site, but not this offer. So this is a special offer to a limited number of people because my comptroller says it's a crazy offer because it's considerably under the price it costs us per person price that it costs us to produce the conference. So if you look on the back of the flyer, that's what people sign up for registration. And an adult registration is $1,500, and we sell out. We're almost sold out now,
Mm,
and we're still 4 months away.
right.
$1,500. We encourage all adults to bring a young person, 17 to 25, to be coached and mentored and to sit at the feet of masters, right? We don't allow young people to come without a chaperone, a parent, a coach, a mentor, an uncle, an aunt, whatever. So a student registration is $800. When you put the student together with the adult, that's $2,300. What I'm going to do is reduce that by $1,700,
Wow.
reduce it to $599, right? Um, and make it available to a limited number of people. The first 10 people who respond will get this once in a lifetime offer to be around extraordinarily important and powerful people. Every single black speaker that you can think of over the last 22 years has spoken at the Power Networking Conference. It is called the Golden Microphone. So, here's how you get this special offer. You have to email me personally. My email is gfraser, Fraser, at frasernet.com. Gfraser at frasernet.com. In the subject line, put I'm in. That's all you have to put in the subject. That identifies and timestamps you when you take advantage of the offer. I'm in. In the body of the email, Dr. Carla, they simply put their full name and their cell number.
Mm.
Their full name and cell number. And then I will personally call them. And we will wrap up our business over the phone by credit card.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the offer. It is good only for those who are watching. And if you happen to be have a partner, married or whatever, you can extend that price to your adult partner. Okay.
That is an incredible offer
Yeah.
and opportunity to be in the room. I want to thank you for your time. You have spent more time here than we had planned to spend. And so I don't want to hold you. I just want to say thank you. I can't wait for us to, for us to be in the room together, in proximity together. It won't be the first time and it won't be the last time.
Right.
But I am coming on assignment. I am coming to serve, and I am coming to learn. I
Mm-hmm.
am coming to sit at the feet of people who have,
Mm-hmm.
they're not new to this, they're true to this.
That's right. And
And yeah,
in a sense, think about this. Um, Learning is serving,
mm,
right? Because God God wants prefers equity to debt, right? That's what God wants. He wants us to turn uh, debt into equity, right? So paying a price, time, talent, and treasure, right? You are creating, in a sense, a debt, right?
mhm,
But that debt, in service of that debt, you get knowledge back. You get equity. So it's the equity of knowledge, right? And then you use that knowledge to enrich others. And that's how we see these things, right? So suddenly Carmichael was using his knowledge on a street corner in Harlem in 1962. He poured that knowledge into me, and what a hell of a return on his investment that he got. Now he will never know.
that's right.
That's why
Yes,
you never know who you're talking to, and
yes,
how whatever word you say or however you frame it or say it resonates, and that person takes action on it. So learning really is a way ultimately of of generating equity, right? That
yeah,
you pour into others, right? That also bear fruit. That's
that's
how I
right.
look. Whenever I'm teaching, right, or whenever I'm learning, I'm still serving. I'm serving me to try to make me better, smarter, wiser, so that I could, not for me, right,
Right.
give it back to plant seeds and to harvest.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
My goodness. Well, Dr. Fraser, thank you so much for your time this evening. As you said, get in on this offer, the first 10 email. Dr. Fraser, the email is right up on the screen. In your name, your phone number. He is going to give you a call personally. And we're going to see you in Houston, Texas on August 2nd through the 5th for the Power Networking Conference. You just have to be in the room. Thank you so much this
God bless
evening.
you.
God,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank
I
you so much.
appreciate your time and your generosity.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much. God bless you as well.
you. And,
And good night. And
good
good
night,
night to the listening audience. Take care.
everybody. All right.